Unit 3. Magnetism and magnetic effects of electric current.
The magnetic force is animate or imitates a soul. In many respects, it surpasses the human soul while it is united to an organic body.
William Gilbert. Introduction to magnetism. Magnets, no doubt, its behavior will attract everyone. The world enjoys its benefits to lead a modern luxurious life. The study of magnets fascinated scientists around our globe for many centuries, and even now, door for research on magnets is still open. Many birds and animals have magnetic sense in their eyes using Earth's magnetic field for navigation. Magnetic sensing in eyes for zebra finches bird due to protein cryptochromes Cry4 present in retina. It uses Earth magnetic field for navigation. Magnetism is everywhere from tiny particles like electrons to the entire universe. Historically, the word magnetism was derived from iron ore magnetite Fe3O4. In olden days, magnets were used as magnetic compass for navigation. Magnetic therapy for treatment, and also used in magic shows. In modern days, most of the things we use in our daily life contains magnet. Motors, cycle dynamo, loudspeakers, magnetic tapes used in audio and video recording, mobile phones, headphones, CD, pen drive, hard disk of laptop, refrigerator door, generator are few examples. Earlier, both electricity and magnetism were thought to be two independent branches in physics. In 1820, H.C. Oyster observed the deflection of magnetic compass needle kept near a current-carrying wire. This unified the two different branches, electricity and magnetism, as a single subject, electromagnetism in physics. In this unit, basics of magnets and their properties are given. Later, how a current-carrying conductor behaves like a magnet is presented. Here, only steady current, not time-varying current, is considered. Earth's magnetic field and magnetic elements. From the activities performed in lower classes, we have noticed that the needle in the magnetic compass or freely suspended magnet comes to rest in a position which is approximately along the geographical north-south direction of the Earth. William Gilbert in 1600 proposed that Earth itself behaves like a gigantic powerful bar magnet. But this theory is not successful because the temperature inside the Earth is very high, and so it will not be possible for a magnet to retain its magnetism. Gower suggested that the Earth's magnetic field is due to hot rays coming out from the sun. These rays will heat up the air near equatorial region. Once air becomes hotter, it rises above and will move towards northern and southern hemispheres and get electrified. This may be responsible to magnetize the ferromagnetic materials near the Earth's surface. Till date, so many theories have been proposed, but none of the theory completely explains the cause for the Earth's magnetism. The north pole of magnetic compass needle is attracted towards the magnetic south pole of the Earth, which is near the geographical north pole. Similarly, the south pole of magnetic compass needle is attracted towards the geographical north pole of the Earth, which is near magnetic north pole. The branch of physics which deals with the Earth's magnetic field is called geomagnetism or terrestrial magnetism. There are three quantities required to specify the magnetic field of the Earth on its surface, which are often called as the elements of the Earth's magnetic field. They are magnetic declination, capital D, magnetic dip or inclination, capital I, the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field, BH. Day and night occur because Earth spins about an axis called geographic axis. A vertical plane passing through the geographic axis is called geographic meridian, and a great circle perpendicular to Earth's geographic axis is called geographic equator. The straight line which connects magnetic poles of Earth is known as magnetic axis. A vertical plane passing through magnetic axis is called magnetic meridian, and a great circle perpendicular to Earth's magnetic axis is called magnetic equator. When a magnetic needle is freely suspended, the alignment of the magnet does not exactly lie along the geographic meridian as shown in the figure. The angle between magnetic meridian at a point and geographical meridian is called the declination or magnetic declination, capital D. At higher latitudes, the declination is greater, whereas near the equator, the declination is smaller. In India, declination angle is very small, and for Chennai, magnetic declination angle is -1 degree 8 minutes, which is negative west. The angle subtended by the Earth's total magnetic field B vector with the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called dip or magnetic inclination, capital I, at that point. For Chennai, inclination angle is 14 degrees 16 minutes. The component of Earth's magnetic field along the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian is called horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, denoted by BH. Let BE be the net Earth's magnetic field at a point P on the surface of the Earth. BE can be resolved into two perpendicular components. So, as discussed, BE is going to be our net Earth's magnetic field. So now, as we are going to look into the horizontal component, we are going to consider only BH. BH is equal to the horizontal component. So this is going to be BH and this is going to be your BV, which is the vertical component. So the angle between these two vertical and horizontal components will be dip or angle of inclination, I. So now we are going to resolve BH and BV in terms of BE, which is we are going to resolve horizontal component and vertical component with respect to net Earth's magnetic field. So horizontal component BH will be equal to BE cos I, where I is the dip or angle of inclination. Let me explain the derivation of BE cos I. Considering the resultant magnetic field, which will be this. So this is going to be a resultant magnetic field. So let us consider this to be the angle. So this will be the resultant vector. So when this is the angle, opposite by base will be tan, right? So this is going to be our cos I and this will be our sine. So the vertical component will have sine and the horizontal component will have cos. Therefore BH will become BE, which is the net Earth's magnetic field into cos with the angle along with it. Similarly, we can find BV. The vertical component will be equal to BE sin I. Here the angle is mentioned as I. In order to find theta, that is the dip or angle of inclination, we are going to divide vertical and horizontal component, which will be the tan I. So we know in order to find this angle, we will consider Pythagoras theorem, which is opposite by base. Opposite by base is nothing but your tan I. Therefore, tan I will be equal to BV, this is BV, divided by BH. So this is the basic formula to find the angle of inclination. So now we are going to see the Earth's magnetic field at magnetic equator as well as pole. So this will be our equator point and this is going to be our pole. The horizontal component will be the equator and the vertical component will be the pole. At the magnetic equator, the Earth's magnetic field. So this is going to be the Earth's magnetic field. So in this case, the horizontal component and the Earth's magnetic field lie parallel to each other. Therefore, BH will be equal to BE and BV will be equal to 0. So at equator, BH will be equal to BE. As said earlier, Earth's magnetic field is parallel to the horizontal component. So we are considering BH is equal to BE. As there is no vertical component, we are considering BV to be equal to 0. In the case of pole, the the magnetic field will be over here. The magnetic field is along the vertical component, which means at this point BH is going to be 0 and BV will be equal to BE. So at equator, BH is equal to BE and BV is equal to 0, whether in the case of pole, BH is equal to 0 and BV is equal to BE. Also, in the case of equator, I, which is the angle of inclination, is going to be 0, whether in the case of pole, I will be equal to 90 degrees. So with this, we can conclude the horizontal component will be maximum at the equator and the vertical component will be 0 in the case of equator. When it comes to pole, the vertical component will be maximum at the pole and the horizontal component will be 0. Moving on to the example 3.1. The horizontal component and vertical components of Earth's magnetic field at a place are 0.15 G and 0.26 G respectively. Calculate the angle of dip and resultant magnetic field. So it is given that horizontal component BH is equal to 0.15 G and the vertical component is given as 0.26 G. We are now asked to find the angle of dip and the resultant magnetic field. So we have to find I and the resultant magnetic field. So in order to find this, we are going to use a formula. Tan I is equal to BV by BH. We have learnt it before, right? 0.26 divided by 0.15. So I will be equal to tan inverse of, the value of this is going to be 1.732, which will be equal to 60 degrees. So I will be equal to 60 degrees. So as I've told you earlier, the resultant magnetic field of Earth will be between the horizontal component and the vertical component. So it is going to be somewhere around here. So in order to find that, we are going to use the Pythagoras theorem. We know by the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square will be equal to opposite square plus base square. So this is going to be a resultant vector. So as said earlier, B is going to be somewhere between the horizontal component and the vertical component. So considering the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square will be equal to opposite square plus base square. When the square goes to the other side, it becomes root. So this is going to become BH square plus BV square, the whole root. So we know BH is equal to 0.15 and BV is 0.26, the whole square. When this is done, we will be getting the resultant B as 0.3 G. So we know the formula, magnetic length divided by geometric length is equal to 5 by 6. Moving on to the example 3.3. Compute the magnetic length of a uniform bar magnet if the geometrical length of the magnet is 12 cm. Mark the positions of magnetic pole points. So in this example, we have been given the geometrical length of the bar magnet, which is equal to 12 cm. Geometrical length is equal to 12 cm. We are asked to find the positions of magnetic pole points. So, in order to find the positions of magnetic pole points, we have to find the magnetic length of the bar magnet. Using this formula, we can find out the magnetic length of this bar magnet. We have the value of geometrical length, right? So, when this goes here, magnetic length will be equal to 5/6 into geometrical length. 5/6 into geometric length is given as 12 centimeter. 6 and 12 cancel out and this becomes 10 centimeter. So with this we can find out the pole points. So this is going to be our pole points. So the geometrical length is 12 centimeter and the magnetic length is 10 centimeter. So this is going to be a 10 centimeter, 1 centimeter apart from the edge of each side of bar magnet. So this is going to be the magnetic poles in this case of bar magnet.